Feel the power of the Frost Mage. Hello and welcome back. So, last episode I became a mage. We collected some spells, mostly frost spells, and at the end, which I didn't show actually, I crafted this Greybeard staff, which is actually pretty cheap, just an iron wooden shovel and arcane essence, which increases my spell power a little bit and improves my mana regeneration. So, I can now defend against, well, passive mobs. And I actually leveled my spells a little bit because there's also skill trees for saving world. That's not what should happen. Alright, reloaded the game and here we are. What I wanted to show you is that we have an elemental buff system within our skills menu, so I can boost elemental spell damage. For example here, ice magic power. I can reduce cooldown or increase my max mana via this system. For now I expanded few things here in the ice tree, trying to get all the max mana elements I can, as well as all the minus cooldown elements, and then we will collect a lot more different spells later on. But for now, we want to expand our colony a little bit. Because at the moment, we have the builder's hut, we have the tavern, but nothing else, and I really want to give some of my villagers a job to do. So I want to get 2 production buildings up and going today. The first one is the forester, which is in charge of harvesting and replanting wood. And the other one is the farmer, who can work with pretty much all the crops we have here. First and foremost, I think we're going for potato or carrots because my villagers need to eat something. If we get to it, I want to build also at least 1, maybe 2 residence buildings and maybe even a restaurant, so that I'm not the one to feed my villagers, because like when they're sad, not feeding villagers will make them very, very slow and pretty much useless. And I don't know, maybe they can even die from that. So let me get going. I'm creating the forester's hut, which is, we can get 1 with a wooden axe or 2 with a stone axe. I think I'm going for 1 first because I have a wooden axe lying around. And then we're going to get the farm running, which is this one. Same system here. We can get 1 farm with a wooden hoe or 2 with a stone hoe. And I think 1 farm will support us nicely for the beginning. Let me get this going and let me show you where I want to place these farms. Here we have the forester's hut. This is how it will look on level 1. As you can see, it's pretty much the same building style like the other 2 buildings. And the progression is similar, getting a little bit of spruce in the 2nd level, hay roofs in the 3rd one. It's getting a lot more shiny in the 4th one, replacing walls with see-through elements and getting real shingles on the 5th level. So for the moment, I'm going to place it over here. And as you might have seen, I have a little tree farm going on here on this side. This will pretty much stay the tree farm around the forester's hut around here. So we need to make sure the hut block is visible, which it is. So let's get going. The farm is the first building we're not finding in fundamentals. The forester's hut was also here, but instead in agriculture and then horticulture. There we have the farm. And this is what the farm looks like early on. Let me move it around and extend it to level 5. Is this how I want to place it? No, I think this is the way. With the front door here in this direction. And I would like to have it over here like this. I'm going to gather the materials for both the farm and the foresters, and we can take a small look at a time lapse getting these things built. See you right then. Advancement made, chop chop. So here we have our forester's hut. Just taking a look inside. It's the typical Japanese way of building things with the lowered entrance and then an inlet campfire here. I can't wait to upgrade this thing because especially after level 3 these buildings look a lot nicer than on the first 2 levels, but they also cost a lot more resources, so I need to get going for that. While Antonella starts working on the farm, Lewis here was made of forester.
I'm
and they said they need an axe with a minimal level wood or gold and a maximum level of stone to continue working. So let's provide Lewis with a stone axe and ignore the pillager in the background. I will deal with them in a second. And yeah, he feels threatened because there's no guard tower or barracks near my home. Yeah, I know. We'll get to that very soon. For now, I'll fulfill the axe request. And if I take a look in its inventory, there's a stone axe in there and also a bunch of already logs and sticks and stuff. Oh, and he also needs a hoe. Interesting. Before I give him the hoe, I want to get into the settings of the forester's hut, and there's something called zoning mode. And I want to put that to on and get the selection tool, because otherwise he will start cutting down all the trees anywhere. And when I think about that, that's actually totally okay. Let's turn the zoning mode off. Get him a hoe and let him start doing his work.
I'm missing something.
Here
I
you
can't
go,
work like this.
Lewis. Have a hoe. All right. Anything else? And there he's going. Cutting down his first piece of wood. And he's not the fastest one, as you can see. And now it's getting nighttime, so he's not working at all. Well, what is the best way to deal with a pillager captain if you don't want any curses? Just set him on fire. If it's fire that kills him, you're not getting the curse. It does take a second, but I'm willing to wait. And he's gone. Alright, and the rest of you feel the power of an ice mage. That, by the way, seems to be a thing that is not working in this mod pack as intended. Because the quests tell you that you need to burn the banner to get the negative effect. But you just get it either way. So, yeah. And our farm also has been completed. For a farm to work, it needs fields. And as you can see, the plot of the farm itself is not that big. So, hi Zaharia. How are you doing? You probably tell me
work like that, mate.
They need more fields to get working. And I can already tell you, they want always fertilizer and they will need a stone hoe. So let's give them a stone hoe and let's get a field down. Fields are pretty much placeholders where farmland should be. To create such a scarecrow or field, you just need a hay bale or a pumpkin, 3 sticks and a leather. And I had a few leather left, so I was able to create one. And now we can designate a piece of land as farmland. And a farm can be a maximum of 11 × 11 in size. So 5 in each direction from the field block itself. So let me take this corner here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, place down the scarecrow, and now we have a field. And if we right click the scarecrow, we can pick a seed and design how far the field should go in each direction to be used. For the seed, I want to go ahead and use potatoes for the moment. We can't pick more than 1 crop per field, so if we want to have multiple crops planted, well, we need to get multiple things. And Sararia already started hoeing the field around the scarecrow. As you can see, it's dried farmland, so we should provide some water, because otherwise he will just work forever and never get finished. A nice way to do this is to get some water and get some slabs. And for the slabs, do I have dirt slabs? That would be awesome. Yes. I need a frame, a slab frame for that, which is a slab and a bunch of sticks. So let me get that. And now I have 16 dirt slabs, which I can use to place in this farm. If you're going for a max size of 4 for the farm, it's more than enough to place the water below the scarecrow. In my case, I will distribute it a little bit more randomly. And you can just place water within the slab to waterlog the slab. As you can see, the water is still there. And now I have watered farmland around this block. And I will just place a few more around and waterlog those. And I guess this should be working for the whole field. The last thing is we need to provide our farmer with the crop he needs to plant, in this case, potato. So, now he should be able to get this field going, wait for the potatoes are ripe, and then, well, start harvesting them. Potatoes and carrots are 2 of the best early game resources for minecolonies because they can combined also heal the first illness that will arise, which is influenza. So for that we should also think about getting a hospital going as soon as we can. But you can't do all things at the same time, so let's start here for now. Sometimes minecolonies, NPCs are not the fastest, but they will get to work at some point. Now that we have 2 production buildings going, I would like to also consider a few new homes. At the moment, if we take a look at our town hall, which, by the way, doesn't need to be built at like any point in time, we can play very nicely without this ever going to happen, because it's quite expensive and I don't want to build it now. If we take a look in the statistics tab, we can see the number of citizens currently is 4 out of 4. We have a builder, a farmer, a forester, 0 children and 1 being unemployed. And that means we need more houses for more citizens. Housing can happen in 3 ways. There are certain buildings that provide housings for the people that work there. That being, for example, guard towers, barracks, and pretty much all other military buildings. The second one is the tavern, which provides 4 beds at any level, which is why it's very useful early on, because you have exactly 4 citizens that spawn in. And the last option is residences. And this is the next part. I want to, like I said before, have my big pagoda here, have a nice little park here in the middle, and I want to put residences here at least on these 2 sides, so that they're pretty much central in the colony. Let me take a look at the residence block. I need torch and some planks for residence. Let me get 2 of those and I will show you how a residence looks like. Residences come in 2 types. We have a normal residence, which looks like... Where's the entrance? This. Early on. And at the end, it looks like this here, which is a very nice looking building. And we also have an alt residence, so an alternative, which looks like this at the later stages. This is just because you need quite a few residences in a city, so many packs provide different types of residence buildings so that you can choose a little what you want to place down. What I also didn't show you yet is with these controls here, you can not only flip a building around in different directions, but you can also mirror it. So now I put the entrance on the other side over there, which makes it a little nicer, because now we can put 1 residence here. And I'm going for the alt residence for now. Put it here. And then I can put a second residence. Also the alt version. In non-flipped right next to it. I can put it directly next to it. So if it's on level 5, they will stick together like that. Maybe I even put a little bit of space in between. I think that looks a little bit better. All right, so let's put down 2 residences. And you can see they take up quite a bit of space and nearly as much as to my improvised storage over here. Let me get these residences also built on level 1 and we'll take a look at how that looks. And our residences are completed. Very nice. All right, so what's up with these residences? To increase the number of citizens in your colony, you need 3 beds. That's pretty much it. And if I take a look in this, there's 1 bed in here, and in the other one, there's 1 bed in there too. And as you can see in the chat, a new child is living happily in my colony. Yeah, so if you have free beds, your citizen will happily give birth to children. And that pretty rapidly as soon as beds are available. If you don't want any children yet because you don't have a education system, so a school set up, and they will pretty much have very bad stats, you can go into the town hall under settings and say off to new citizen spawning. Because if we take a look at our builder, for example, and she's been doing a great job so far.
Can I help you?
We can see that her stats are all below 10. She has an adaptability of 9 and an athletics of 7. These are the two stats which increase by doing her job. Athletics 50% XP, adaptability 100%. So this will really increase, but her stats overall are not as impressive. If I take a look here, why are you sitting together on there? The travelers visiting the tavern will have different stats depending on their shoes. So if you can take a look, Alena here has leather boots.
Can I help you?
And if I take a look at her stats are a lot better. So if I say I need athletics and adaptability, she's still not a good builder. But if I have something that requires dexterity and strength, for example, I think that might be the stats of the forester, then she would be a great fit. So overall, it's a lot more useful to hire new people to be citizens in the beginning, because at that point, the stat increase you have for your children is not really impressive. But yeah, increasing the ranks of any residence will increase the number of beds by 1. So at level 2, each of those residences will be home to 2 citizens. At level 3, they will have 3 beds. At level 4, 4, and at level 5, finally 5. So at the end, any one residence is better than the tavern, as the beds in the tavern will never increase. They will just stay at 4. And I think you can also only build one tavern in a colony, so it's not a cheap option early on to just build a few of those. Alright, as the sun goes down and the citizens go to sleep, we can see over there that our farmer finally decided to plant some potatoes. So we will have a steady growing food supply from now on. Our forester nearly cut down all the trees I've been planting. And I think he is also planting some of his own. There you can see a few saplings, they weren't there before. And we do have 2 new residences here. At this point, I would say it's a good place to end this episode. And let me go ahead in between episodes to clean a bit of this landscape up, because currently everybody needs to jump over some stones and there's gaps everywhere. And as you can see, I've started laying out the path, and I will continue doing this, and we'll see each other next time. Bye bye.